Hello, Mixtresses and Mixters. This is Mixtress Ray. You're watching Mixtress Video. So I'm going to do an unfair comparisons between Shadowscapes and Star Spinner Tarot. I just got the Star Spinner Tarot like a few days ago, so I haven't really gotten to know it completely yet, and I've had Shadowscapes in my life for over a year now, so we'll see. I'm comparing them simply because they both have like a fairy tale quality to them. I would say it's a lot less literal with, it's more like aesthetic wise. You can feel kind of a fairy tale quality with the Shadowscapes, whereas there's literal fairy tale shit going on in Star Spinner Tarot. So I'm just gonna kind of flip through them. So this deck came out in 2010. This deck just came out in 2020. I really like the art style of Star Spinner. It's got this like, it's fairy tale, but it's also Art Nouveau. And you get more diversity. Like there really aren't any people of color in Shadowscapes, but you get people of color in Star Spinner Tarot, and the images are so beautiful to look at in both of these decks. And the use of color in Star Spinner Tarot is very intentional. Sorry, like my neighbor's hammering something. The thing that people are talking the most about Star Spinner Tarot is the fact that it comes with 4 lovers cards. So I think the intention is that you would pick your favorite, but lovers card is my like numerological soul card, and I couldn't choose. So I have so far just been using this deck. I mean, again, I've had it like less than a week, or maybe exactly a week, something like that. So I have not been using it long, but so far I have been using it with all 4 lovers cards mixed in. So I have, more of a chance of drawing the lovers card. Nothing wrong with that, right? Could all use more love in our lives, right? But I really like that option. I think that's so beautiful to be able to choose a lover's card that represents you, or just, go for it and use all of them, There's definitely some goddess energy going on in the Star Spinner Tarot as well. Like this is giving me Durga vibes right here. Both of these, wow. The color schemes are just like, I don't always agree with the choices in Star Spinner Tarot, but when I do, I really do. Like this Hermit card being like soft blues and periwinkle purples and lilac. It's gorgeous. Oops. Not too far. Too far, juice. What did I do? Okay. Like, for example, like this is a very strong color scheme, but it kind of bugs me. Just personally. I like this. She's kind of got her like veil of stars. And a new birth means that someone else died to make space, if you believe in reincarnation, I guess. Not super into this Lovers card. I don't know. I think it's like, it's the angle or something. I don't know. It disturbs me to look at it. Of course, I probably should be disturbed by the devil, right? Pretty traditional tarot card, honestly. Or tower card, sorry. Look at this. I'm sorry I'm commenting more on Star Spinner. It's just because it's new to me. I just wanted to see it side by side with another deck that has a similar vibe to me. But yeah, I mean, the yellows and the lilacs. I mean, yes, yes, yes. They both kind of take a more traditional approach to the Judgment card, which I don't love. I don't love the whole like angel and the trumpet thing, but I mean, it's a prevailing symbol in a Judgment card, so I understand. I would recommend, I did the other day, I used my bed because it was the biggest space, and I laid out each of the suits of the Star Spinners tarot like in a line so that you could kind of see the progression, because I believe that the artist Trungles, I believe he was trying to tell the story of a particular fairy tale in each suit, or at least in a couple of them. That's not mentioned in the guidebook or anything, but it seems like it. Like the wands seem like the story of Peter Pan, and you can see it better whenever you lay it all out in a row like that. So I would suggest, if you have Star Spinner Tarot, to spend some time looking at it like that, because it helps kind of tell the story of each suit to see them all together. So this is all, and the color scheme is pretty strong for each suit in each in Shadowscapes too, honestly. And I really like it when decks do that, when they'll really commit to a color scheme for each suit. It's a little bit off-putting even, because there aren't really like, the colors are more intense in every other suit, but in the wands it's this pale yellow situation, which I kind of like, but just like the paleness in comparison to the saturation in most of the colors in the deck just kind of sets the wands apart a little too much aesthetically to me. I first thought seeing this was Link, but I mean, Link is probably somewhat based on Peter Pan too. I really like this Eight of Wands. It makes sense to me. This feels rushed. I don't know. I'm not feeling it with that one. Same here. I like her. Queen of Wands being like a fairy queen. It's sort of an interpretation of the Strength card, but she's still got the sunflowers. She's got her little elf ears and everything. Very cool. The kings in this deck are all symbolized by an animal, which I have no problem with. But the kings also, in every suit, they kind of, the color scheme is, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Is divergent, you know, because the entire wand suit, you know, we had all these yellows, a little bit of pinks, and the court cards, and then boom, all this blue. That doesn't make sense to me. It feels disjointed. It really does. But that's just me, though. And then we've got kind of the story of the Little Mermaid and the cups. Again, this might not be the intention of the artist, but you can definitely tell that story if you want. Come on. Obviously, Trungles was somewhat influenced by Shadowscapes, but who wasn't? As soon as you saw the Two of Cups being mermaids, and the Three of Cups being mermaids, how could you ever go back? The Three of Cups are mermaids. They just are. See, it's like, this is when she meets the prince. And now she's daydreaming about him. And now she has transformed into a human. So all her wishes have come true. But then she finds him with another woman. I don't know. And she decides to go back to her family. Right? Do you think? It's a retelling of The Little Mermaid. And he misses her. Sorry, I'm making up my own fucking stupid story here. And this is Ursula. Yes, bitch, this is Ursula. I like thinking of Ursula as the Queen of Cups. See, again, like, I feel like it just takes me out of it. Like, you've got all those mermaids and then suddenly a dragon for the king. Not trying to be critical. Like, I haven't put a deck out there. That's something that, like, needs to be said. All right, let's get into the swords. Again, just to, like, look at the color scheme just for fun. With the cups, you know, you've got the purples. You do have a little bit more deviation, but the color scheme's pretty consistently pink. And it gets a little weird in the court cards. So it's not actually the color scheme that sets it apart as much. It's just the fact that suddenly there's a dragon. I don't think there's any dragon energy in the rest of the suit. Sorry, I'm not really commenting on Shadowscapes, but I have shown this deck several times. It's basically just for the visual comparison, but me in person, I'm mostly just looking at the Star Spinner Tarot right now because it's new. I really like this Two of Swords. I think it's beautiful. Very traditional Three of Swords. I only have like maybe one deck in my whole collection, one or two, that isn't doing three swords and a heart. Just like literally, it's just like everybody does that. Very similar posture to these two. Love this too. Wow. I'm not sure like what fairy tale they're going for with this particular. Got like kind of griffin feet happening here. This is probably just a fairy tale I'm not familiar with. So far we've seen 2 male pages and 1 female in Star Spinner. This is our first female knight that we've seen. I think it's the only female knight that's in this deck. I really like her. Okay, we have to take a second. Like, I love the Queen of Swords in Shadowscapes, but the Queen of Swords, like, I think that if I don't completely connect to this deck, I will at the very least, like, I don't know, frame this little Queen of Swords, because this is Kali. This is Kali, you guys. Oh my god. I'm not even that into the color blue, but this, oh my god. That's like possibly my new favorite Queen of Swords card. Again, doesn't it just take you out of it? I don't know. It's just like, if you're going to make, I don't know, it's just my personal opinion. If you're going to make, I am all about having animals represent figures. But if you're going to represent figures with humanoid in every other situation, then I don't know, just a bird suddenly as a king. And I don't even understand the choices. Like, in the Wands, it was a crow. But it's not a bird in every suit, because it was a dragon in the Cups. I just don't understand the choices. It doesn't seem consistent to me. But again, no shade, because this artist has made a beautiful, beautiful deck. So it's just because I don't get the choices doesn't mean anything. So again, just to see the color scheme, got all these varying blues. So the color scheme doesn't really deviate with this one. It's just the fact that suddenly it's a golden bird. But okay, I mean, I'll get used to it. It's just standing out to me right now because this deck is new. She looks so sad. I don't normally think of the 2 of Pentacles as being sad, but she looks very sad. This too. Like, maybe she feels like she should have everything that she needs, but she doesn't. It's just kind of a different way of looking at 4 of Pentacles. I haven't quite made my peace with it yet. And obviously this is Rapunzel energy. But I don't know if we're dealing with Rapunzel energy throughout the whole suit. Again, it almost feels like, you know, there was a specific theme in mind for a lot of things in this deck, but it's not completely consistent. You know, like the color scheme within a suit is, you can tell it's been intentional, but it's not. You can tell it's intentional, but it doesn't necessarily carry through the whole way. In the Wands, it was very clearly Peter Pan, and in the Cups, it was very clearly Little Mermaid. But in the other 2 suits, maybe it's just because I'm not familiar. So it could be that I'm just not picking up on the other 2 fairy tales. But to me, it seems inconsistent. Like, suddenly there was a Rapunzel card, and it's not the whole story, but it is the whole story in other suits, you know. It just doesn't it feels like it was thought out to a certain extent and then veered off or something, which doesn't mean it's not a good deck at all. And that may be why there's no mention of like specific fairy tales in the guidebook or anything like that, because, you know, maybe they started out with that goal, but then it just totally didn't work out. So they changed. I mean, it's still a tarot deck. It's still like every card is symbolizing the meanings of that particular card. So I don't know what more I want from it, you know? This is like my favorite Seven of Pentacles ever in Shadowscapes. This is my card of the month of April. 8 of Pentacles. And I have been working pretty hard. Like, even though I've been out of, like, I've been home from my, because I work for the public as a librarian. So I haven't been doing that, but I've been doing a lot of tarot readings for people. So it's been great. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this 9 of Pentacles. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at her. This is the one instance in which I actually kind of enjoy the king, because the king is a bunny and she's cuddling the bunny. So I think they go together, right? This is the king and the queen on this card. Well, there you go. What did you guys think about this unfair comparison between Star Spinner Tarot and Shadowscapes? Let me know. Also, check out the link below if you're interested in a reading from me. I am still doing them 50% off, at least through... well, I may be going back to work at the library at the beginning of May. If so, I may have to make them full price again, just because I won't have quite as much time to do as many readings. But at least through like the first week of May, if you're watching this in real time, I will still have 50% off all my readings, which means it's $12.50 for half an hour and then $20 for an hour.